We shall seek and destroy. We shall prevail. Capture the base. Open fire. Capture the base. Capture the place. I'm under fire.
As I rolled down the window, it appeared to have noticed reorienting itself and literally shot up to about 1,000, maybe 2,000 feet in an instant. As I was speeding up, it would speed up.
And what did you do to a videotape that?
UFO, basically, that's what it had to do.
Says he began seeing UFOs all the time. He could barely look up without seeing some strange light or orb in the sky. Over the years, his wristwatch stopped working. Lights would flicker at his mere presence, and birds would crash into his car.
If you're a true experiencer,
Would you invite me?
all these weird, bizarre paranormal stuff. It's like your house is either being haunted or nobody really knows. It's weird. Hey, where'd it go?
It's almost as if you're a storm chaser, like the UFOs every couple of weeks.
I'd reverse that. It's almost like it's chasing me.
Which begs the question, Stan, why you?
Well, they are big questions we would all love answers to. Do aliens exist? And if they do, what are they like? Well, one New South Wales woman not only claims to have met with creatures from another planet, but has taken part in what she calls an alien breeding program. Her name is Jane Pooley, and she sat down with ITA to not only share her beliefs, but also put them to the test.
Jane describes herself as a lifelong alien experiencer and claims she is an alien abductee. The mother of 3 hybrid babies, humalians, a mix of human and alien DNA, who live in a spaceship. She's also the mother of 2 human children who live on planet Earth. Before I sat down with Jane, she voluntarily sat a lie detector test, or polygraph. She underwent this test 3 times.
Have you been part of the alien breeding program?
Yes.
Whoa! I wasn't ready to do the intro. Crap! Alright, well, let's do the intro. It's time to do another show on who's out there in the wide world of streams. Well, we're about to find out. It's time for another freaking cool stream, everybody. It's another week. Time to do another show. It's an early show. I'm tired. I want to go back to sleep, but I'm doing a show. And if a show is done, no one's around to hear it. Does a show happen at all? Well, who cares? Because we're doing it anyways. That's right. A lot of crazy stuff going on today, but in spite of all that, despite all the haters and negative press, it's time to do the cool stream. We're gonna do a crazy episode about alien abductions and creepy stuff. It's gonna be fun and weird. So get in here. I gotta post about it and get everyone listening. Alright, it's time for the show. Wow, it's the cool stream, everybody. We're doing a show about alien abductions today. And I hope someone get in here and cheer me on. But for now, I'm doing it all by my lonesome, and that's okay. I don't really care. It's fun to do the early show. Get it out of the way. Anyway, we're doing the show. It's all going to be all about alien abductions. Because it's all the rage right now. Everybody's talking about it. La, 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 la. It's the cool stream. Aliens are weird. We're talking about them. Yeah, we're talking about them. They say you can't do it. You're not allowed. The government is covering up all the secrets, but we're getting to the bottom of the aliens. We haven't done it. It's taken us 5, 6, 7, 8 episodes, but we're trying again. We're trying again to figure out aliens again. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Did you meet an alien? Do you have part alien children? Have you been...
A lot of weird stuff goes on when you get captured by an alien, or so I'm told. So we're going to get to the bottom of it. Looks like we got some viewers in here. Hey, if you're checking out the stream, get in the chat. Get in the chat and let me know. And comment down below and let me know what's going on. Because today we're talking... and I got that classic frog in my throat to start the show. I haven't actually said any words today, so I'm kind of clearing out the pipes. And so it's good to do that as soon as I start doing the show. So anyway, welcome on into the Cool Lounge. We got a whole episode today about alien abductions, and that's kind of how things are going these days with the show. We're on the bi-weekly schedule. And I'm hearing nothing but good things about it. And people are loving it. people are loving it. So anyway, it's good for me. I enjoy the early show because I'm a little tired, but I have the energy to press on. And when I do it in the afternoon, I get sleepy and ready to go to bed. So if that makes sense, if you're understanding me now, if you're hearing me, drop an emote, drop a thumbs up, drop a PogChamp for God's sake in the chat to let me know you're out there. Let me know. Woo. I'm going a little crazy weird today. So we're gonna get into it. Now I'm trying to find the PogChamp. I'm obsessed with this guy. Have you seen this guy? He's like, he's got a crazy face. There's all kinds of emotes in here. I'm just going through the list of emotes. Those little sloths. Check this guy out. Anyway, what else have we got going on? Well, we're just gonna get into the show. No time to waste. Nothing really else to talk about. But we've got a visitor. It's our friend Sergio, and he's the bot that is sometimes on the stream. Sometimes he's on the stream.
Greetings, Beowulf.
Hey, Sergio, welcome. It's the cool stream. Oh, we got somebody in the chat. Welcome. And Sergio's here too. What's up, Sergio?
Greetings, Beowulf. What is up, my friend?
Well, I'm doing a show. It's Sunday morning. Ba-ba. You know that song? Well, yeah, not much else
What
going
is
on.
up?
I'm very tired.
I was checking out the graphic artwork of your show.
Oh, yeah, the graphic stuff. We got logos and overlays looking pretty wild and weird. That's kind of how the look of the show that we have. But I made it myself a long time ago. I hope you like it.
Thinking is it needs to be made better.
Oh.
It looks not so good.
Oh, well, I guess maybe it does need refreshing, but I think it looks okay. But you're a bot, so maybe you have more brain power to understand some of the design stuff or something. I'm not really sure.
It looked my friend Dmitry does design for streams.
Okay.
I will send him a logo to make it look nice.
Okay, well, that would be good, I guess. Maybe have him give me a call and we'll talk about it. We'll see. I kind of like it how it is, but maybe we'll consider it.
Greetings, Beowulf.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Oh, all right. Well, Sergio doesn't like the graphics on the stream. Well, it's my show, so I'll do whatever graphics I want, but maybe it needs an update. We'll see what his friend Dimitri can do for us. But enough of that. Enough of that stuff. Well, we've also got the cool snack zone. And what's on deck for the cool snack zone today? Maybe I need a good sound for that. What's on deck for the cool snack zone? Well, we got these off-brand Ritzes. And don't worry, I won't be chewing into the mic. And here's a little ASMR for the cool snack zone. I got these off-brand Ritz crackers. And these things don't taste very good, but I bought them, so I better eat them. So that's the cool snack zone. Let's get into the show, damn it. We're talking about aliens. Chew into the mic. Sure, I guess. You have to pay me do enough bit donations and we'll do some chewing. People love chewing. It won't be as chewy as the peanuts, but I will mute myself, so don't worry if you hate chewing sounds. We're talking about aliens today. Do aliens eat snack crackers? Well, one alien we know of ate Reese's Pieces. That's not how you really say it, but Reese's Pieces is how you say it. Talking about alien abductions today. We got a couple here. They had a crazy encounter back in the 60s. Let's hear what it's all about. We're getting to the bottom of alien abductions.
Next thing we know, we're back in our car, but it was 2 hours later. The congressman hears this. I don't see how he can ignore this.
Well, I think he should do one of those congressional investigations.
That's what I think he should do.
I don't know about that. You see, you'd probably have to testify.
Whoa.
Well, people might say things.
I got the
I'm
UFO
a black
sound.
man married to a white woman. People already say things. If I can find out what the hell it is I saw,
What the hell?
where I was, I would tell my story to the whole
Betty
damn
and Barney Hill.
world.
That's right. Tell the damn world.
I think that Betty and Barney actually did have a close encounter with an unconventional flying object in New Hampshire's White Mountains. I know from the original report and from being there in the very beginning, being at their house within 2 days, from the descriptions that Betty and Barney gave to my
We're not
parents,
talking about the Flintstones.
that they had conscious recollection of seeing this craft at less than 100 feet, hovering less than 100 feet, silently above their vehicle. This was clearly an unconventional aircraft. They had, Barney had conscious recollection
saucer.
of observing non-human entities in this vehicle in the field.
What?
He was greatly frightened by this. Something started to drop down out of the bottom of the craft. He was afraid he was going to be captured. They had conscious recollection of 2 series of beeping or buzzing sounds on the trunk of the vehicle as they sped down Route 3 in New Hampshire, the major north-south route in 1961. The craft in pursuit. This beeping and buzzing sound caused the car to vibrate, and it caused this feeling of tingling feeling to pass through Betty's and Barney's bodies and cause them to feel sleepy. An important point here is that they had a period of what was called doorway amnesia at the time. They had full conscious recollection of the sounds on the trunk of the car, of Betty rolling down the window to look up to see if she could see this thing. And then the next thing they knew, they were 35 miles down the road. They hadn't spoken to each other. They had no recollection of what happened during that period of time for those 35 miles. And when they arrived home, there was physical evidence that something bizarre had happened to them. I believe that they did have a real abduction. Perhaps it wasn't identical to all of Betty's memories under hypnosis, because some of her memories were very similar to her dreams. However, there was information that both Betty and Barney gave independently, and there's no way that they could have shared that information with each other. And that information leads me to believe that they were abducted.
There's an alien on the Flintstones, too. A little great gazoo. Could be carbon monoxide poisoning. It's a classic UFO abduction story. Betty and Barney Hill. It's one of the first ones. They ended up getting hypnotized to figure out their story. And that's a thing we'll come back to, is hypnotization. Hypnotizing. Flying saucers. It's like an episode of a Twilight Zone or a science fiction theater or Black Mirror. Do they have aliens on that show? Someone was scanning the newspaper. A New Hampshire couple encounters the UFO. Needless to say, I was intrigued. And this person who's writing this was astounded that 2 people claim to have been abducted by aliens and taken to the ship. What is this, some kind of joke? No, it's aliens. I thought I'd heard the last of it, but I had not. It became an international sensation. It's one of the most believable and certainly researched UFO cases, except for Roswell. One thing it seems very odd to me is that it's considered within the realm of possibility that someone could see a UFO, but for someone to be taken aboard one? No way. No way. 1961, Barney Hill. It's a 39-year-old black man who worked for the U.S. Postal Service. His wife, Betty, is a 41-year-old white woman who owned a master's degree. She owned it. Is that how that works? You own it? Anyway, she was a supervisor for the child welfare department. He was suffering a lot of stress and stuff. It was their marriage was not as readily accepted as it is today. Okay, so let's get to the story. 1961 in New Hampshire, Barney developed an ulcer, and Betty, she wanted to take a trip to Canada. And I kind of wish I could take a trip to Canada and live there permanently, never come back, and go hang out with Turbo. The couple, they visited Niagara Falls, and they done all this stuff. They began their journey back to Portsmouth. The night was clear with a crescent moon shining in the woods around U.S. Route 3, part of New Hampshire. 10:15 p.m., 3 miles south of the city, Barney noticed what appeared to be a bright star or planet moving around all crazy like. And they kept looking at this crazy light. They thought they were watching a plane disappear as the movement of the vehicle caused the trees to come up and go and obstructing their view. They didn't know what it was. They stopped the car to look at the object. He saw multicolored lights, rows of windows on a flat-shaped object which now seemed to be moving around him. And he saw the occupants inside, and so they ran back in the car and sped away. Soon, 2 hours of their lives would vanish into oblivion. After resuming their journey home, we're not able to see the strange craft. Oddly enough, and let me get my sound low. They heard a beeping sound. What? I'm just doing a little sound effect there. They heard a beeping sound. And they heard some more beeping sounds. And next thing you know, they were down the road. They were in Ashla. The mood in the car was quiet as they proceeded home and went to bed. So it sounds like everything's all good. They just skipped a jump, did a little time jump. She called her sister and told her what happened. And then her sister told her to call the Air Force Base. Oh, and the UFO, according to them, was confirmed by the radar.
Oh!
What? Snap! Forgot that one was still on there. Oh, snap, you saw a UFO. Neither Betty or Barney recalled the abduction. But Betty started having nightmares of her husband being taken aboard the craft. In a matter of weeks, people got wind of the story. They had an interview. They discovered that there were 2 hours of unaccounted time in the Hills story, even allowing for stops for the Hills and breaks for their dog. Oh, the dog was in there too. The dog got abducted. Another interesting note here is that there are these 2 riders which are mentioned in almost every report of the incident, and no one knows who they are. So then they interviewed by an Air Force guy. And then she had more disturbing dreams. She passed her information on to Walter Webb, who was on the staff of the Hayden Planetarium. And he was a big science guy. And this guy, the smart guy here, Major McDonald, which was, I guess, was the Air Force guy. He said hypnosis would be good. That's a good idea. Hypnosis. Do some hypnosis. In the spring of 1962, they contacted a psychiatrist about hypnosis. Betty was haunted by the dreams, and Barney's ulcer was worse. So they did, let's see, the Hills decided to contact a Boston psychiatrist, and she had anxiety syndrome. Let's check out part 2. This is UFO Casebook. So they had a lot of different sessions with a hypnosis guy. And also there was a movie, and we're going to watch some clips of the movie starring none other than James Earl Jones as Barney and Estelle Parsons in 1976. There's a made-for-TV movie. So they had a hypnosis session where they were able to remember some of the stuff that happened with the aliens. Well, let's check out this made-for-TV movie starring James Earl Jones, and it's a lot about the hypnosis. Oh, frick! Okay, let's rewind a little bit. She's freaking out. Uh-oh, okay. We'll make sure we can see this.
I wouldn't be lying around this house all day, would I? Wouldn't be reading these stupid books.
Oh, snap.
My eyes are full. Until...
What?
Till I think I'm nuts as they are. When I asked you to marry me, you said you wanted a psychiatric evaluation. But don't laugh, you may have been right.
Oh, what do you mean?
What do you
I
mean?
mean that your instincts may have been right. You may have sensed something.
Oh, no, my love. Oh, no, you didn't understand. It wasn't you I questioned, it was me.
It's the aliens.
I couldn't tell you.
What?
I still can't.
Listen, don't you know by now you can tell me anything?
The aliens.
I'm not pretty.
Who says?
What does that have
Nobody.
to do with aliens?
Something I know. Something I've always known. I'm not pretty.
And that's nonsense. And what's it got to do with a psychiatric evaluation of me?
Oh,
What's it got to do with
you
aliens?
don't understand. I was afraid you thought you loved me. You thought I was pretty because I was white.
Oh, Lord.
Hey.
Let's get to the alien part. I don't know.
That's like
That's
like me being afraid.
crazy.
Them that we had to report it.
This is, we're watching the UFO incident. It's the TV movie about Betty and Barney Hill, who were abducted by freaking aliens. And they did a bunch of hypnosis stuff to come up with some memories of their abduction. And it's got James Earl Jones in it from the 70s.
She cried. That's really what did it.
Well, whatever did it, we did call.
I wasn't too impressed with how the Air Force handled it. But when Wayne Webb from the Hayden Planetarium contacted us, then I knew that Betty was right. We had to tell everything we saw.
Betty and Barney. And Bam Bam. This is exciting. Benny Hill.
No need for you to be concerned.
TV movies are exciting.
No need for you to be worried.
The pacing of
You are
this is just
deeper
electric.
and deeper asleep.
She's
You are
getting
deep
hypnotized.
asleep. You will remember everything, and you will tell me everything.
Because they couldn't
Now,
remember.
September 19th, 1961.
They had about 2 hours that they couldn't remember what happened. He's doing a bad TV movie after Star Wars. Is that after Star Wars? 1976? He had a different Star Wars that he was interested in, of the aliens coming. So they had about 2 hours where they couldn't remember what happened. And to me, I would think, okay, well, 2 hours, your driving time just kind of slips away. You're listening to a podcast. Back then, they had the radio. You're listening and it's night and you're bored. So that would make sense that you would forget stuff. But they saw something weird and that it was actually an abduction. Holy moly, we got Robert Denby subscribing with Twitch Prime for 13 months. Whoa. Back for year 2 of subscribing. Thanks for subscribing with Twitch Prime. 2 years, holy moly. And Howie's going to participate in an Animal Crossing fishing tournament. and a half hour for BugCon. Okay, is that still going on? Is that still going on? We got UFOs. Are we going to be wrapped up before that happens? So everybody wants to see that. I want to check out that.
You will remember everything.
Good luck.
And it won't
I'm going to tell everyone I'm watching the cool stream on the
Your
live
memory
stream.
is sharp
So
now.
it's happening right now. So we're counter-programming to the big BugCon that everyone loves.
I
don't
want
see
you to
it
go
going.
back to the time of your vacation
I think
in
it's
Montreal.
going on right now.
Beginning with the time you left your hotel in Montreal.
What is this?
Yes.
I want you to tell me in full detail all your experiences, all your thoughts, all your feelings.
Thanks for
Beginning
following.
from the time you left your hotel.
Eduardo, Emma,
Were you in Montreal?
Amati Talk Show. Thank you for thanks for
approximately
following Eduardo
112
Amati
miles
Talk
from
Show.
Montreal. We were driving
To check out that talk show.
Niagara Falls through Canada.
He's hypnotized, all right?
Go on.
James Earl Jones.
Tell me about your arrival there.
Arrival. That's another alien movie.
Was that
I get abducted,
Would-
right?
they accept me at the motel because what they say they were filled up.
Whoa! All right. How Intensive gifted a tier 1 sub to Kaylee. He's gifted 2 subs. Thanks for the gift. Sub! And thanks Eduardo Amati. He's Italian. Eduardo Amati Talk Show. Nice to meet you. And we're going to check out the talk show. We love Italians. And we're talking about aliens on our show.
I was
Thanks for tuning in.
wondering if they were doing this because I was prejudiced.
Because you're prejudiced?
The aliens are racist.
Because they were prejudiced.
You run into this a lot, I take it.
I have not actually run
else.
into being denied accommodation yet.
Why are you going to talk about the aliens?
Worry about it.
But I know
This is
that this
boring.
does happen.
Okay, when we
and
see the
I'm
alien
concerned.
abduction. Okay.
Look up through the windshield of the car.
We got the hype
where Betty
train.
saw a star.
Holy crap.
Oh,
Poggers. And Tom Chain subscribed at tier 1 for 7 months. Wow. Thanks for subscribing. We got the hype train.
that's funny. But I said, Betty,
Young
that is
director.
not a star,
All
it's
right.
a satellite.
I'm bored of this show. Just want to see some aliens. I have to move on to our next
Come on,
abduction.
Delcy, let's get up.
Choo choo.
Hurry up, Betty, so I can see.
Let's go.
It's not a satellite, it's a plane.
Barney, what kind of a plane is that?
What kind of plane was it?
What kind of plane was it? What the hell? Rockstack subscribed for 11 months. What? Thanks for subscribing. He says, let's go Poggers. We love it. Show the aliens. I don't know if we're going to see the
It is
aliens.
right over my right, and it does not go where I thought it would go.
Is Darth
Barney,
Vader
I'm
an
asking you a
alien?
question. What kind of a plane is that?
Is Darth Vader an alien?
That's funny. It was
Freaky alien.
funny. They're coming around toward us. They're changing course. Just a Piper Cub.
Oh, crap.
Barney, it's
funny.
not a Piper Cub.
You saw a small plane.
Barney, that's not a plane. It's still following us.
Oh, no.
Barney, where are you going?
Barney.
I just want to see it.
And he looked in the binoculars.
Still there. It's coming closer.
This is
It
very...
is not. It is not coming closer. It's just way up there. Betty, what are you trying to make me believe?
It is not. He's hypnotized. He's looking at the
All
aliens. All right.
We'll stop here for now.
All right, that's a good place to stop. Betty and Barney Hill. I don't know if they show any aliens. The budget is probably not too good for this show, and I think the Star Wars guys and gals are aliens. So it's mostly about being hypnotized and they're freaking out.
I thought if I could just get my hand on the door of the car and open it, I can run into the woods and hide.
Aliens.
And Barney's yelling.
Barney.
They're gonna capture us. They're gonna capture us.
They fell asleep at the wheel.
They're coming closer. Oh my, oh.
Oh, there's aliens. And their dog is with them.
I just put my hand out. I put my hand on the door of the car. And I'm gonna open it. And they open it for me.
Barney, the aliens is coming.
They open the car door. This man. There's two men behind us.
Oh, wow.
2, 3 men, and there's 1, 2 more men behind them.
Oh, frick. Good Lord.
All right.
All right. That was intense.
You'll be relieved and relaxed. When you wake up, you won't remember anything that's transpired here.
Freaking out.
Won't remember anything until I ask you to record. All right.
All right.
You'll be comfortable and relaxed and at ease.
Give her some drugs. Oh my gosh. She saw the Ewoks. This is a made-for-TV movie about Betty and Barney Hill. I'm glad I fast-forwarded. We got to see some aliens. I didn't think they showed up in this, but we just saw a little creepy alien hand or something creep in there. All right, what's next on our... Talking about alien abductions. We love them. They're creepy. We got more, and we've got a theme going here about the alien abductions. And we believe in aliens. There's this guy in Brazil who said the aliens stole his blood. Is also an early UFO story. It received a lot of attention. So that's kind of creepy. Antonio Villas Boas. He was a farmer and he was abducted by aliens. He used to work at night to avoid the heat of the day, and then he saw a red star in the sky, and it seemed like the star was following him. And then it looked like a big egg. Tried to get in his tractor and leave, and his tractor engine died. And he started to run, and the alien was chasing after him. And it made crazy noises. And dragged him into the craft. And that's some of the earliest alien stories that we've ever heard of. Which is kind of cool. Aliens stole my car. Big egg. Alright, our next alien abduction, this is a famous one and has also got made into a movie. That's our theme today, aliens and movies. We love the cinema. And we have a hype train mode. That's good. The fascinating and terrifying UFO incident experience of Travis Walton. Let's check out the full story. This is 1976. This is a year before the made-for-TV movie came out. He was an American logger. He claims to be abducted by UFOs in the forest in Arizona. Walton appeared after a 5-day search. And it's kind of creepy. A lot of people think it's a hoax. Hang tight. They're taking us to UFOsightings.net. Wow. That kind of looks like an alien. Fascinating and terrifying experience of Travis Walton. A lot of people think it was a hoax. Bum, 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 bum. Off to do the fishing tournament. All right. Good luck on the fishing tournament. On the fishing tournament.
In 1975, Travis Walton, a logger from Snowflake, Arizona, disappeared without a trace. 5 friends who were with Walton when he vanished swore that he'd been abducted by an alien spacecraft. Each witness passed a lie detector test, telling the same story. The reported abduction is one of the most well-documented claims of an alien encounter on record.
And now it's a movie.
Travis Walton's alleged abduction from an Arizona logging camp is now a motion picture titled Fire in the Sky. The dramatic details of Walton's story are unnatural for adaptation to the big screen. Ufologists believe that Walton's experience is more than just a story. They believe it is a true account of an alien abduction.
We have a saying here, once a contactee or once a witness, it's always
Snowflake,
so.
Arizona.
Because it's an event that you will never forget.
Are aliens with sinister motives abducting humans for bizarre
And what is this show?
experimentation? Travis Walton believes that's what happened to him.
This is a cool video.
Sightings took an emotionally scarred Walton and eyewitness
Fire in the
Mike Rogers
Sky.
back
I
to
want
the
to watch
site
it.
of the alleged abduction.
I want to watch the
17
movie. It
years
looks
before.
freaky as hell. I watched some clips of him getting operated on by the aliens, and it's
My
freaky.
first reflex was that this thing was just going to take right off, you know, that we were just going to get a glimpse of this thing. So just as soon as it stopped, I threw open the door. And I started
Throw
running
up in the
towards it.
sash.
And then I realized,
And out comes Santa Claus.
I started to think twice about what I was doing, and as I got closer, I kind of got slower and slower. I turned back
Seems
around
pretty
like
calm
this,
about.
and I
Oh,
could
this
see
is Mike
Walton just
Rogers.
flying backwards through the air. And when he hit the ground, when I saw that happen, everything was just too much, and I hit the gas, and we were gone. When I regained consciousness, I was in a lot of pain. I saw these creatures. They were small, humanoid looking, you know, like they had two arms and two legs and two eyes. They had these big bulging heads and these huge eyes. Those eyes were the hardest thing for me. You know, I couldn't look at them. It seemed like
Those eyes,
like they were looking
big,
right through me.
big old bulging things. Bum, 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 bum. Those eyes, do 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 do. The aliens tried to take my soul. Bum, 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 bum. Take a little vacation and claim you're abducted by aliens. That would be fun.
Screenwriter Tracy Torme has spent 8 years bringing this abduction story to the screen. He is convinced that Travis Walton and his fellow loggers are telling the truth.
Oh my gosh,
I
this
suddenly
movie looks freaky.
came to realize that this incident was a curse to them. It was something that had happened to them rather than some kind of happy, you know, close encounter type of experience.
Since Travis Walton's
Fire in the
experience,
sky.
hundreds of others have come forward to tell similar stories. They share with Walton the nagging fear that someday the aliens will come back for them.
The question has come on, do we think Travis will have a second encounter? We have no way of predicting that. We don't consider this case closed. It's still open.
One of the most controversial aspects of the UFO phenomenon and its effect on our society are claims of interaction with UFO occupants and tales of being abducted by aliens. Perhaps the most convincing testimony comes from Travis Walton of Snowflake, Arizona.
This was November 5th, 1975.
It's freaky.
I
on
was
those
working with a crew of
spaceships.
men in the woods, and we left the area. We'd worked late that night. It was getting dark, and as we were leaving down this dirt road way back in the woods, we saw a large glowing object near the road. Well, we stopped the truck, and I got out, went up to it for a closer look. I thought that this thing was just going to shoot right off, and then, you know, I hurried towards it thinking, you know, it'll be gone before I even get close enough to see it that well. But it didn't leave. It started to move, and the sound got louder. So I jumped down behind the end of a log there, and I decided I better get out of there. And I
out of there.
Raised up, turned to go, and at that instant I just felt a numbing shock. I blacked out. Men in the truck said they saw a beam of energy come out of the craft and hit me in the upper body, knocked me through the air. When I regained consciousness, I was on board the craft, apparently. I came to kind of slowly. I was kind of groggy. I didn't regain consciousness real quickly, but when I finally got where I could see, I saw these creatures standing over me. And I became hysterical instantly. I knocked him back and jumped away from him.
That's what the alien sounded like.
They started towards me. I screamed and made threatening gestures, and they stopped and turned and left this room. They had gone to the right, so I ran down to the left. It was down a curving hallway. I ran by some other doors, and I came to another door, and I kind of got to control myself a little bit. I kind of panicked there for a minute, but I stopped, went in this room. It was a very strange room.
Crazy.
You could see the stars projected on the walls, or maybe you could see them through maybe some kind of a viewing screen or something. I don't know. But there was a chair in the middle of this room that had some controls on the on it, and I went up to that and tried to see if I could figure a way to open a door or get out of there or something. Another being came in.
A beam.
At that point.
Watch out for these beams.
The first creatures that I saw were very, very different from us. They were short, you know, less than 5 feet in height. They had large, bulging craniums. Kind of a chalky white look to their appearance. Very large eyes. He took me out of that room that this was parked in, down a hallway to a smaller room where there were some other people like him.
Here we go.
And they put me down on the table, and I struggled with him, and I was knocked out, made unconscious with a kind of an oxygen mask-like device. And the next thing I know, I wake up on the road.
Travis is 24 and lives with his family in Snowflake,
That's it?
Arizona. His reported close encounter took place on
Snowflake,
Wednesday,
Arizona.
November 5th, 1975. He and 6 co-workers...
Crazy. Well, he didn't talk about having all the weird stuff poured on his head and all that weird stuff from that movie. Travis Walton, he's got a website. Fire in the Sky. Boom, 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 boom. Here he is. Because I guess he wrote the book, Fire in the Sky. And so he saw the aliens. They did a bunch of chainsaw stuff. And then they saw the aliens. It's a flying saucer. What? The craft sucked him up into the craft. This is crazy. I don't have to read this book. Let's get out of here. So Travis got abducted and all of his friends drove off in their truck. Man. He wrote a book about it. I have to read this book. And there's a documentary. This is his website. Owens Productions, a true story of Travis Walton. Travis Walton movie.
It was a terrifying experience.
I thought we was going to go to jail for murder.
That day, we were a little behind, so we worked until it was starting to get dark.
We loaded up the equipment and hadn't driven very far when we caught glimmers of this glow coming through the trees.
An orb.
I urged Mike to hurry up and get up there.
Travis had the door open before we even stopped.
He approached
As he got closer, I heard the sound.
One of the guys said, "You feel that?"
I really panicked then.
I told him, "Get the hell out of here."
Get the hell out of here.
It didn't come directly to me, it came to a deputy sheriff.
3 of us volunteered right away
Yeah,
to tell
coaching
him what had
crew.
happened.
Sheriff Gillespie definitely didn't believe it.
He says that we better be certain because we could get in a lot of trouble.
When we went to search the next day, they split us up. And the whole time, the deputies asked me, if you just tell us where the body is, we can all go home and get this over with.
We're talking about 100 people combing through the wooded area. Nothing turns up.
What?
All week long, I've been hearing they're
thought
going
he
to
got
set it up to
murdered.
make you guys look guilty.
We're a rough-looking bunch then. Some of us have been in trouble with the law before.
And y'all ain't never going to come out of that jailhouse.
Whoa.
We couldn't get out.
I tried to sneak out the back door the day of the polygraph test. I was scared to death.
On top of that, you have media.
I literally would be on 2 telephones at the same time.
We've even got some coops in here now that's coming in and out to see the freak show, as they call it.
Everyone descends.
I just wasn't going to stand there and listen to it anymore.
Granny says, this is Travis. I'm back. I need help. When I did hear that he had been returned, it was almost as unbelievable as the original thing.
I just looked at my mom and says, I told you we didn't kill him.
Travis Walton reappeared after several days with a bizarre story about a ride in an unidentified flying object.
People were desperate to explain it away.
Why are you sticking up with Travis for all this time? You know this really didn't happen.
What happened to Travis after we took off in that truck, I can't tell you.
I hated Travis for a long time after this. My whole world just tore up.
But I believe every word Travis said about it. He's never lied to me about nothing.
Whoa.
It's a net negative. We lost our jobs in the immediate aftermath.
And now you're not able to talk about it with anyone because you know that they're going to laugh at you, they're going to look at you like you're crazy.
But if you don't come out and tell your story, somebody else is going to tell it for you.
There's a degree of responsibility. Certainly I have to accept the bad.
This is
If I can
crazy.
direct what's happened in a way that I can make something good happen in the world, I'm looking for it.
On Winges Production presents Travis, the true story of Travis Walton. TravisWalton.com, and it's saying there's Travis Walton the movie. We have a server timeout. I gotta watch that. That sounds interesting. So all of his co-workers, they thought that he was murdered or something, and then he turned up missing. Interesting. And then they made a movie about it. Well, not this movie. Oh, here it is. Travis Walton the movie. Buy it on eBay. Jennifer Stein. I gotta watch this. Some behind the scenes stuff. People, I need to zoom in on this. Nope. Bulb. I need to get a better look at the scenes pictures. We're getting into some movie stuff now. We've got another movie to talk about. It's the Abduction and movies about abduction. This looks good. I gotta check this out. Looks like they were Pleiadians. Woo! He said they had white skin. So they might have been gray aliens. But they had big bulging eyes. Maybe they were Pleiadians. Woo! This is fun. I like this. I gotta check this out. Anyway, our next abduction on the Abduction show. Many abductions. There's a lot of abduction stories. A lot of weird stuff. Let's see, there's a lot of stuff. Let me go to not really a movie, but on Netflix. There is some recent stuff on Netflix about abductions. Did you see this? Have you seen this?
How do you commemorate a big historical event when no one is sure what the event actually was? That's the question some are grappling with in the town of Sheffield in the southern Berkshires. Connecting Point's Adam Riley has more on the controversial monument of what some say was a UFO.
Some of us have trouble remembering what we were doing a week ago or even last night. But Tom Warner of Great Barrington, Mass. Can say exactly where he was on the evening of September 1st, 1969.
I was laying right where we're standing right here. And I was laying on the ground like this, and there was a beam on me.
Emanating from an object that resembled nothing he'd ever seen before.
20 feet or more in height and probably about 30 feet to 40 feet around. And it had, as I'm looking there, I can see it had lights. The lights are colors I've never seen in my life.
To skeptics, this tale of a close encounter in the Berkshires might sound
does this look
implausible.
Familiar?
But Warner isn't the
This is
only
from
one
2018.
convinced he witnessed something remarkable that night.
Back in 1969, we had listeners call the radio station.
1969. So sounding familiar. Speaking of movies, this is on Netflix. This is the one from Netflix, Unsolved Mysteries, the the UFO abduction. This is what inspired it all. I said, you know what? I know about some of these abductions. We'll just do an abduction episode, and this is one that's from the new Unsolved Mysteries. And that was pretty creepy,
evening.
too.
At the time, they didn't know it was a UFO. They just, called the station and said something bizarre is happening.
David Isby is the general manager of WSBS.
If you have any evidence
5 miles
about
from Warner's
the
house.
UFO,
We talked about it on the radio just last week, and one of our listeners, Jane Brown, who's now 84, she called into the radio station, and she told us that she was one of the first people to report it.
These memories are back in the news thanks to this monument in the neighboring town of Sheffield, where a man named Tom Reed says he and his family had their own close encounter that same evening.
This light, it rose up maybe 2 or 3 stories, and it went actually further away from our vehicle over what's now a large cornfield.
The monument itself didn't arrive until much later, in 2015, after the Great Barrington Historical Society took the unusual step of calling Reed's account historically significant and true. But now its future is in jeopardy. The town of Sheffield says the monument, which was erected by private individuals, might actually be on public property, which could force its removal. The citation from Governor Charlie Baker on the monument's face has lost some luster, too. Recently, a spokesperson told the Boston Globe it was issued in error. And for the record, the Great Barrington Historical Society has some buyer's remorse of its own.
I think the Historical Society regrets that our words or our decision has been taken out of context.
Not that the events of that night weren't significant, Director Robert Kroll adds. But Kroll, who wasn't there when the Historical Society first weighed in, says in retrospect it was a mistake to focus so much attention on one man instead of everyone else who witnessed something inexplicable that night.
The children coming into school, talking about the event. One of them was an old student of mine. One is a local shop owner whose father was the sheriff in town, police chief in town. So these are reliable people. These aren't people that are self-promoting.
Which sounds like a swipe at Tom Reed, who's detailed his story in multiple media venues and gone further than many of his former neighbors.
An ant with some human features. It had a head that looked like almost like a football.
In comparison, Tom Warner has kept a relatively low profile. Like Reed, though, he's convinced the Sheffield monument commemorates something momentous, and that forgetting that evening would be a mistake.
When you see something, it's like, I see you. I see that rock. I see that building.
I see you
I saw that UFO.
I saw the UFO. Now it's on Netflix. That is pretty cool. It's pretty good. You gotta check out that Netflix thing. The Netflix Unsolved Mystery. It's pretty interesting. I got something weird coming up here. It's all about movies and TV and UFOs, so it's sort of like a double. Need something to wash down these crackers. Oh no. Okay. This is kind of weird. Oh yeah, here it is. The Berkshire Unsolved Mysteries Netflix. Is it recognized by history? There's a monument. It picked up the reboot of Unsolved Mysteries, and the guys had all these different aliens encounters. They don't use the term abductions. They don't like the term abduction. It's kind of a creepy story. One of the guys is with his mother in the car, and she talks about how she doesn't like talking about it, and they had to move because everyone hated them for talking about aliens and stuff. So the Great Barrington Society recognized the encounter. It's a historical event. It was erected by private supporters and proved controversial, graffitied, and later removed. Oh no. It was on the History Channel too. Berkshires was the backdrop for a TV show. So anyway, let's go to the next abduction. And this isn't a real abduction, but this is all about a movie. So this is all about a movie now. It was believed to be a real abduction thing, real footage, but it actually was a found footage movie 10 years before the Blair Witch Project, called the McPherson Tape. I've never seen this before. And it's about a family that has an alien encounter. was first known as UFO Abduction, or as the TV remake Alien Abduction Incident in Lake County. It's known among UFO enthusiasts. So this guy made a found footage movie, and it was way before the Blair Witch Project. It's too loud. It's hurting my ears. Let's see. He had a tiny budget, so he did a handheld thing, gave the movie a homemade look. Anchorman Funko Pops. It's advertised as a horror movie. It has much less in common with the Blair Witch Project and more with the America's Funniest Home Videos. So it's a found footage movie, but a lot of people thought it was real. Let's see, back in the 80s, different people wanted to promote it, and here's where it gets better, is what he says. The filmmaker says. So some TV shows want to do a story on the movie, including Unsolved Mysteries in hard copy. Hard copy. And a Fox show called Encounters. I need to check that one out too. I told him he was the first one out because the mystery is pretty much solved. We went with Encounters, and they did a 7-minute segment on the world's greatest UFO hoax. He went on TV to debunk his own movie. But the debunking only fueled the urban legend of the birthday party that was crashed by aliens. The Encounters segment only helped make the film more popular. It led to a TV remake with Dick Clark Productions at UPN. After showing a TV executive and showing the Encounter segment, the producer guy got what he described as his first Hollywood deal. Gave him $1 million. So they made a movie, Alien Abduction Incident in Lake County, in 1998, still before the Blair Witch Project. It was a huge success for UPN, and added interviews with real UFO experts talking about the very fake alien footage. And then the director appeared as a special effects director and endorsed the authenticity of the movie. Things got blown out of proportion. People started believing the VHS footage was real. And the government hired me to make the TV remake as part of a disinformation campaign to discredit the original. This is crazy. So he made a fake movie. Everyone thought it was real or something. This is crazy. So anyway, here's the UFO. This is the UPN version. And then I also found one that's the original. So let's check out. It's got some...
Next on UPN. This is a UPN special presentation.
Well, let's get the media up
The
here.
home video you are about to see documents an alleged case of alien abduction.
But it's a
family
fake
from Lake
movie.
County, Minnesota was reported missing by relatives on Thanksgiving weekend. A search of their remote farm produced some disturbing evidence and a 6-hour home videotape.
But it's actually a movie.
Chilling on-camera testimonial by
That's weird.
16-year-old Tommy McPherson.
My name is Thomas McPherson. We were attacked by aliens.
I don't know if there was abduction in this, but I just thought this was a funny, weird story.
I think they killed my brothers, Kurt and Brian McPherson.
Oh no, aliens.
I don't want to die. I'm really afraid. I don't think we're gonna make it.
You are about to see excerpts from Tommy's video. Is his tape the most powerful evidence
Alien
yet that aliens
abduction.
exist? Or is
Talking
there some
about the
other
person my wife
explanation for
turns
the
into when I
disappearance
take
of
away the ice
McPhersons?
cream?
Since the original broadcast, an astonishing discovery. Static areas of the McPherson tape actually contain some amazing video. Now, with the help of digital enhancement using declassified military technology,
This is so crazy.
we're able to show you what you couldn't see before. Is this digitally reconstructed video proof of an alien encounter? You be the judge as we try to make
What?
sense out of the videotape recovered from the family's abandoned home.
This is crazy. Okay, this is a movie. This is a guy's found footage movie that he made in the 80s. And no one wanted to release the movie, so he took it to UPN 10 years later and made it into this weird documentary about how it's actually real, which is pretty which is pretty cool if you know the whole story.
I'm not comfortable with the statement
pretty
confirming
cool.
or denying the possibility that the McPhersons were abducted by extraterrestrials. My deputy found the tape at the McPherson place, and the McPhersons haven't been heard from since. Beyond that, I have no comment.
Look, it's been 50 years since
Forbes Riley. Hey, it's Forbes Riley.
A single piece of usable news footage. Now all of a sudden there's a
This is
home
so
video
cool.
showing an entire family being systematically abducted.
What's happening? Let me see. Let me see. Let me see.
Let me see.
I don't speak publicly on this subject anymore, but I can't resist this one. Maybe this tape evidence was left behind for a reason. Because most serious scientists will turn up their nose at anything connected with a UFO. So the incident will be dismissed instead of investigated.
Somebody said we have a tape of a family abducted. I'd say, well, let me see it.
We need to get the hell out of here.
Let's see it.
It's a very frightening experience for these people.
Grab your coat. We're leaving now.
I still don't know what happened to the McPhersons.
So cool.
But the tape is real.
That's the guy. That's the director guy. Okay, so it's a movie, a found footage movie, which in and of itself is cool. Then the guy takes the movie, puts it on TV, and makes like a fake. Some of these people are actors, and some of them are real UFO enthusiasts. And then makes a documentary about the fake movie. And that's just crazy.
Have indeed been abducted by aliens. We're dealing with the biggest story of the millennium. Visits to planet Earth by alien spacecraft.
I told you I saw
Oh
one.
my god. He's gonna blast that alien to smithereens.
Missing Tommy McPherson, age 16.
It's kind of weird that they put this on TV.
53. Kurt McPherson,
You might think these people are real, and they're really missing.
Linda McPherson, age 25. Matthew Wilson, age 30. Melanie McPherson, age 26. Brian McPherson, age 21.
A lot of McPhersons. They had a big family.
Renee Laurent, age 20. Rosie McPherson, age 5.
Whoa.
Alien abduction.
She look like an alien.
In Lake County. This program
She looked like
contains
an alien.
shocking and often disturbing images. Viewer discretion advised.
Whoa.
Tommy McPherson's tape begins at 6:20 p.m., November 27th, 1997.
Okay, I got it working now.
Yeah, right. You've been saying that for the last half hour.
Oh, red light's on this time. I'm making a video of our Thanksgiving dinner.
That's enough video for one night, don't you think?
Oh, this is my career, Mom. What career?
I'm gonna get my parents' permission to watch this.
Yeah, right.
I think it's pretty obvious it's fake, but
Yeah, it's supposed to look like this.
Whoa. What was that?
I want to watch the original one too. UFO abduction, the McPherson tape.
I don't hear any thunder, man.
This is
Rosie, are
the
you okay, honey?
Hey, let's go check the fuse box.
it's a recreation of it.
Careful.
Here. This is how you handle a fuse box, college boy.
I guess this is a recreation of the videos. I think that's what it said. But there is, I guess we can check out the real one too.
Yeah. Huh. Stinks, man. What could have done that?
It was a TV remake. The company that did the effects for the X-Files, working on the ship and the aliens.
Whoa. What the hell
You
is
can check out the original one too.
What was that? Lightning.
Whoa. It's like Blair Witch.
That didn't look like lightning. Oh, man, that came from the Bergenhauser's
Freaking
pasture.
alien.
No, it didn't. Yeah, it did. I saw it in the camera. Hey, it's probably that big Transformers blown. Let's go check it out. Hey, let's not. Oh, come on, we're gonna have to call the power company about it anyway.
All right. Tell Mom we'll be a few more minutes. Come on, Brian, keep up.
Come on, Brian.
Keep up, you idiot.
No, you go on, Tommy.
He
Come
gets
on, Brian.
abducted.
Tommy,
Tommy. Screw you.
Tommy,
Screw you.
get.
Man,
Whoa.
see that?
Whoa.
Yeah. Look at it.
What?
Firecrackers.
What is that? What?
Look at that. Wow, wow, wow. Look at that.
What?
Whoa.
Oh, is that the alien?
What the hell is that?
The hell? Spaceship.
Yeah, it's huge.
That's a spaceship.
Hey, guys, somebody's inside that thing. Maybe it's the power company.
Power company? It's not like that.
Oh, we got the same beep.
I think it's a UFO.
What?
What?
Get out of here.
I swear that's...
Shut up.
That looks like a UFO, man. No, wait. Come on, you guys. No. I swear to God, that's a UFO.
Quiet. Where is it?
No.
Dueling beeps over here.
What's he telling you?
Wow.
Man.
Quiet, you guys.
Oh my God, it's two.
Just be quiet, you guys.
So there are the aliens. This isn't real, so we're kind of getting off track of the,
What are they doing, guys?
the stories. We got more UFO stuff to get to, if we can get to it.
They're cutting open.
Whoa, it's Darth Vader and a lightsaber.
He's just cutting it.
Quiet.
He's got a lightsaber. Oh, yeah, you got a lightsaber, y'all.
What are they doing, Brian?
What the hell is he doing? Bro.
It's looking right at us. Oh, they see us.
Forget it, Tom. I'll get the camera. Forget the way, man. Camera, come on. Run, come on. Run, come on. Oh my God. Guys, run. Keep up. This way. Over here.
Got the same beat going.
Tommy. Come on, Brian. Come on. Keep up, Tommy. No.
Aliens are coming. This is pretty long.
We need to get the hell out of here.
And then the and the dad gets his gun out.
There's what? We get shot Brian's hand.
What? This is crazy.
Aliens, there's a UFO out there. We have to go.
The aliens did it. This is crazy. Okay, so this is the remake. We're gonna watch a quick thing of the original, just to kind of compare. So it's like a birthday party. This is the original one from the 80s.
Come on. We need our sticks so we can do the Sherwood Forest thing. Come on. You know how many times I fell off into that thing? I get pushed off, matter of fact.
This is the original one. McPherson.
If I push you off, you would have been dead.
Are these the here's the aliens. Let's check out the aliens. Let's watch the aliens real quick.
Why do you have to go this way through the mud?
It's kind of interesting.
Oh, now we're going back downhill, huh? You got a better. You got the. It's over too. Great, now we're lost. No, man, how you get lost in these woods? I know these woods. I know these woods like the back of my hand. Like the one, whichever side is the back. That's how I know this woods.
Whichever side is the back.
Like a fishing one. Look at this up here.
What the?
Fire,
Oh, shit. Oh, no other way. Look out, look out, look out. What the hell's that? What the hell is that?
Look at it.
What the hell? Alien.
God damn it. Holy shit. Holy shit.
It's a spaceship, Mike.
Spaceship.
I know it is.
It's a fucking no way.
It's a freaking
It's not a spaceship. Holy
What
shit.
is it then?
Holy shit, guys, I'm zoomed in. It's a spaceship.
It's a
Holy
spaceship.
shit.
No way, man. I gotta get these.
Holy shit.
Make sure there's nobody around. Make sure there's no one around. No, wait up, man. Wait up. Dude,
I lost it. Hold on. Damn it.
Zap you. They can zap you.
How can I lose this thing?
Bullshit, jerk. I was not going to zap you.
How do you know it's not gonna zap you?
I lost it. I can't. There it is.
How do you lose it?
Aliens aren't gonna zap you. Let's focus here. Let's see the aliens.
Shit.
Turn that fucking light off.
God, swearing.
Oh my god. Oh my fucking god.
There
Holy
they are.
shit. Holy shit. Holy shit.
It's the aliens.
Thank God.
Dude, this is awesome. This is awesome.
Oh.
This is fucking awesome.
This is awesome.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
now. You're feeling better. You guys are gonna get the fuck out of here. No, man. Holy shit.
I think they see us.
They're looking at us. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck.
Put the light up.
Shit. Oh, fuck. What the hell was that?
I don't know.
The camera's loud.
Oh.
Okay, you get the picture there. Before the Blair Witch, before it was all about ghosts, it's viewer discretion. And now this is the original. That was the original McPherson tape, UFO abduction, 1989. I'll have to post these. I want to finish watching the UPN version. That one had a little more production value. Whoo, man. All right, what's next on the UFO show? Alien abduction show. So we talked all about movies. Let's get back to the real stuff. We got the International Center for Abduction Research. So there are all these guys. They're all guys that are researching abductions, trying to do scientific stuff, doing lots of hypnosis. And the abductees speak. There's a defamation campaign going on. Telepathy and emotion in alien society. Review of Abducted, how people come to believe they were kidnapped by aliens. And Bud Hopkins. So we're going to talk about some famous abductee research type guys. The International Center for Abduction Research. So there's some different abductees. Talk about their experiences on this here website. Becky got abducted. Need some more women in the UFO world. There is I watched a Vice documentary about a woman. I think we've got our website. She does hypnosis for abductees and stuff. So check that out. That one's pretty entertaining. Pretty weird. The guy talks about how he had relations with some aliens. That was kind of crazy. Memory is tricky, so now we need to do hypnosis. Remembering UFO abduction and abduction memory is difficult. Abductees are not supposed to remember what has happened to them. So it's like Men in Black, where they do the little thing. Men need a safe space for their paranoid conspiracy theories. That's right. Abductees, they're not supposed to remember. It's like the Men in Black. They do the little memory wipe thing. Forgetting is a part of a systematic attempt to keep the abduction program a secret. This tactic has been extremely successful. The aliens are doing a great job with the memory wipe. Most abductees have no memories of any abductions, even though they might have had many during their lives. This is where it gets kind of dicey and weird. The abductees whom researchers see are only a tiny minority of people who remember the events of being abducted. When abductees consciously remember what happened to them, their memories are often quite problematic. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, we don't like problematic stuff. Because abductions constitute a clandestine program, the memories come out as fragmentary, illogical. And was Spock an alien? It was highly illogical. He was a freaking alien. He had those crazy ears. Abduction stories can feel like ways people cope with being abused. Yeah. It's not too good. It's not too good to read into this too much. So we'll try to be tactful about how we talk about this. Oh man. The abductee tells the story of what happened. So it seems to make a logical sense. Sometimes as concrete as any other experience. Problem is that it's often wrong. These people remember events that did not happen. They remember seeing people who are not present. They remember things that did not occur. The brain can take memories of aliens and turn them into more commonly conceived images. For example, people routinely remember seeing owls. Maybe they were at Twin Peaks and seeing the owl. Raccoons, monkeys, snakes, and even spiders when they were actually seeing alien faces. What? I saw a raccoon. Actually, I saw an alien. Man, that would explain. That would mean I had an alien sighting a couple years ago. I saw a raccoon on my on my neighbor's front porch. Scared the crap out of me. Apparently, that was an alien. I've seen some monkeys at the zoo. Seen plenty of snakes and spiders. Anyway, furthermore abduction. During the abduction itself, the aliens are quite accomplished at neurological manipulation, which can result in the innervation of specific neurological pathways. By stimulating the pathways, the aliens can make people see things that are not an objective reality. These envisioning procedures take place in people's minds and have the appearance of reality. Whoa. Also, aliens can require people to watch extremely realistic scenes on the screen, for various purposes. All of this takes place within a framework of memory alteration, which ensures that the abductee will forget what he or she has experienced within seconds of returning from the abduction. Whoa, that... I've seen a lot of aliens, and I remember seeing a raccoon crawling into a sewer drain. That was weird. That was an alien. I don't like this. So they're basically hypnotizing, convincing people that some of their memories are alien related. So maybe that would make sense. For therapists, go into your therapy session, talk about aliens. The pros and cons of investigating unusual personal experiences. Contamination. Oh no. Hypnosis. It's nothing more than a process of deep relaxation and focused concentration. So, I've never been hypnotized. I've heard things about it. That's a whole other thing. Maybe we'll do some hypnotizing, mesmerizing stuff on another episode. Apparently it's real. Apparently it's a real thing. I don't know if I believe it. I don't believe, and this is my challenge to any hypnotist out there. I challenge you. I cannot be hypnotized. I challenge you to hypnotize me. Maybe someone can hypnotize me live on the stream. That would be cool. And I'd start saying stuff. I'm a chicken. Anyway, there's a lot of weird UFO guys. There's like Leo Sprinkle, PhD. All these scientist guys turned into alien guys. He was investigating UFO abduction in the 60s, set the standard for research in the controversial field. He's a member of American Association for Advancement of Science and the American Association for Counseling and Development, Past Life Research and Therapies. And he does some speeches at MUFON. He is the professor at University of Wyoming and a therapist. And that's the guy you want to be your therapist. Like, you telling me about your dad, how your dad was mean to you? Well, he was actually an alien. Leo Sprinkle. Sensational stuff with these aliens. He published the book Soul Samples in 1999. That sounds cool. It looks like it's on Amazon. You can check that out. He published several encyclopedia entries. Lots of articles about UFO, ESP, hypnosis, reincarnation, spiritual emergence, and counseling theory and practice. One of these things is not like the rest. So it's a little bit of bunk science going into some of this stuff, which is unfortunate because, like you said, maybe there's some real trauma under there to be uncovered, and instead it all turns about being about aliens. And there are some people studying this who are trying to figure out where this stuff comes from. For real scientists. I thought I had something for it, but past life memories. People ever propose a mechanism for transmitting memories? It's possible. There's a lot of weird stuff out there. A lot of weird stuff. That's my answer. There's a lot of weird stuff out there. So there was he investigated this guy in Wyoming. That's a place where you could get abducted for sure. In the town that had 8 people. It has more antelope than people. And this guy, I've got a video of him being hypnotized. It's kind of creepy. I'll have to keep this music going. Let's see if I can find it down here. I've got a lot of videos. I've got a lot of videos. And where is it? Here it is. It's kind of creepy. It's kind of creepy, so beware. Viewer discretion is advised. It's a video of someone recorded off a TV. It's kind of weird.
If anything is sent to you without your permission, you don't have to return it or pay for it. I don't. That's the law. If you ever receive something through the mail you never ordered, consider it a gift. Gee, thanks. No matter how many bills you get, the law says you don't have to pay. The Federal Trade Commission thought you'd like to know.
Interesting. That's the law. If it didn't happen to you, how do you prove it?
Northwest of
So
Laramie,
confabulation.
Wyoming, lives a rancher farmer named Pat McGuire. His father and grandfather were Wyoming ranchers. He settled down here in 1972 with his wife and 8 children. In September 1976, on a ridge about 2 miles from his trailer house, Mr. McGuire, his brother, and his cousin Mark Murphy found 2 mutilated cows.
Whoa. That's freaky.
The following hypnosis session with Dr. Leo Sprinkle, Director of Counseling and Testing at the University of Wyoming in Laramie, is Pat McGuire's effort to recall more details about an extraordinary incident that happened to him at the time of the mutilations. Dr. Sprinkle is one of the world's leading authorities in cases involving UFOs and human abductions. He has personally worked with 47 people since 1967. Pat McGuire was his 28th case and the first concerning cattle mutilations.
Whenever you're ready, just go right ahead. You can talk and describe your experiences.
Been hypnotized.
It's Sunday. It was me and Mark's was driving around checking the cows. Come upon a cow that was dead. They cut the nose off, tongue was out, the sex organs were gone. One brother said must have been from a sex cult from the university.
What?
Out here messing around, I says.
What? Wait a second. They found some mutilated cows and it was a sex cult from the university? The hell is he talking? This guy really is whacked out of his head. Wait a second. It's supposed to be aliens.
Sex cult from the university.
What?
Well, I said. One brother said must have been from a sex cult from the university. Out here messing around, I says.
You're just messing around.
Probably was. I said, we'll catch him yet.
What?
Okay, Pat, you're doing fine. I'd like to have you now turn your attention to the evening that you and Mark were looking at that craft. You were looking through the scope. I said, Mark, I said, let's get the hell out of here. I said, that star's coming. I says, either that or my eyes are bad.
Oh, a serial killer practicing. Ooh, that's creepy. That's creepier than aliens.
Pure white to an orange. I said, Mark, son of it picking up a cow. I said, yeah. Hear that cow? Hell, she's bawling. And it seems to be hovering there over the ridge. Right, hovering, picking up the cow.
I don't know more about the sex cult.
No, but you can hear the cow. Right, cow. It's terrible. Terrible. Bawling. It's terrible. Worse than I ever heard a cow. Mm-hmm. I've heard a few. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, like they threw a valve or a switch. Everything's stopped. The craft is still there. Cows wouldn't
The aliens are there.
No sound from the cattle.
And the sex cult was there too, with the aliens. They were doing all kinds of nasty stuff together.
Back of my neck. Hair on the back of my neck was straight up. And the next day, you said you drove over there? Right. What do you find when you drive over? Well, we didn't go over there till 10 o'clock in the morning.
That was weird. Okay, well, I need to check out this article again. I thought it would... I didn't expect it to be about a sex cult from the university. What? They saw UFOs hovering near their trailer house and small calves lifted into the spacecraft. The UFOlk, that's fun. He wanted to examine the cows' organs for radioactive pollution caused by humans and their incessant testing of weapons. Whoa. Weird. Okay, so now it's saying that there was a gust of wind. Another dust devil set up the tent and all this. We laughed out loud saying McGuire's UFOs are made of canvas. Alright, weird. Okay, did not expect that. Sometimes that's what happens, you know. Whoa. This is interesting. This is a famous UFO guy. UFO abduction stuff was big time news back in those days. And this guy, Whitley Strieber, he was abducted and he was on all the television shows. And I believe I have a video. I hope I do. There's also this other guy, Bud Hopkins. Maybe I don't have... Well, I've got one of him and Art Bell, but they're talking about climate change. Okay, here's one with... Okay, I got it all set up. But anyway, let's see. Whitley Strieber. He was supposed to be the next Stephen King, a pop horror writer. And apparently Sci-Fi is doing a show of one of his novels. He did a werewolf book. He was turned into a movie by filmmaker behind Woodstock. And he had a sex vampire thriller, The Hunger. The movie starring David Bowie, Catherine Deneuve, and Susan Sarandon. What? I've never heard of that. That sounds good. Sex vampire thriller. Or did that movie in '94? I gotta check that one out. Let's see. It was directed by Tony Scott, who made Top Gun. It's all about movies today. And abductions. It's a twofer. Whitley Strieber, he was going places. He was supposed to be the next Stephen King. Then something crazy happened. He was in a cabin in upstate New York, kind of like Stephen King had his famous cabin in upstate New York or New England or wherever. Vermont or something. Maine. I don't know where he did all of his stuff. Anyway, the alien. Okay, saw the alien one. Well, we'll watch the other one. I'll watch it and I'll let you know how it is. Okay. He saw an alien. Okay, he had an encounter. The group of non-human beings he referred to as the Visitors. His hesitation about calling the little beings who abducted him performed gruesome experience on his body, aliens. And so they slapped the gray alien on the cover of his book, Communion, 1987. He wrote about the experience. I gotta read that one. I just start writing some of these books down. The Travis Walton and the Whitley Strieber book. The book was a phenomenon. It was on the New York Times bestseller. And it was adopted into another movie. Good Lord. Communion. Oh, why didn't I find these movies? Let me see if I can find... not the vampire one. We're going to look that one up too, but Christopher Walken. I gotta check out this movie. Talking about movies today. Walken sees an alien. Hey, I'm seeing an alien over here.
Hey, I'm watching the Ghoul stream here.
Here's the trailer from Sci-Fi Spot. Make sure I go back to our playlists and I gotta see this. Christopher Walken, he's like, I have a taste and I need more aliens instead of cowbell. This is crazy. There's so many movies. This was a big thing in the 80s and they all got made into movies. Wow. Christopher Walken gets abducted. This is Whitley Strieber. His son had the same dream. They both got abducted. It wasn't a dream at all. Whoa.
I can't get out of this!
Oh. I need more aliens. Jeez. It's drug-induced psychosis. He's on coke. Now you will discover too.
It wasn't a dream.
There's a group that meets.
Group?
People who've seen the same sort of things you have.
Which group of aliens abducted you?
Bob, we are not victims. We are participants.
Whoa. Wow.
I don't recall them being human.
I've got to go, my baby
Oh my gosh.
You people, you sit there, you're in for one big surprise.
Oh my god, that looks so good. I've got to watch that. Holy moly. There's Chris Pratt. That looks really good. Let's a Denby stream. I need to watch all the Alien movies. Let's see if I can find the Rotten Tomatoes for it. Communion. Going off the script here. Rotten Tomatoes. Let's get some music going. Communion, Rotten Tomatoes. Let's check out the... We're just going way off, and we're getting into movies again. That's no good. 20%. It looks really good. I guess if you have a different opinion on what is good, we're gonna unblock this real quick. If you have a different opinion on what is good, he wasn't acting on the subway. He was just, that was real stuff. That was method. I need it. I got a fever, and I want to see more aliens. Okay. It's kind of boring. Oh no. It looks pretty... I mean, of course, the trailer is going to make it look awesome. Communion was shot with Dog Me 95. What the hell is that? That looks pretty good. I think they showed all the exciting scenes. And the alien definitely looked good. The alien looked pretty... It looks pretty low budget. If we think about aliens from the 90s. From 89, some of the effects and stuff. Like Star Wars. Man, that looks good. Okay. Whitley Strieber. He made a book. And it was a hit. And then they made a movie with Christopher Walken. He was supposed to be the next Stephen King. He gets played by Christopher Walken. And he was relegated to the fringes of society, but he didn't care. I mean, hell, you make a best-selling book and a movie, and you're cashing in. And that definitely would be good to do that. I definitely wouldn't care if I had all that money from the box office. He was once the next Stephen King, and he let his obsession with the paranormal torpedo his ability to be taken seriously. And then, one night on the book tour, a mysterious man knocked on the door of his hotel, told him that our understanding of global warming was inaccurate. Instead of just making the Earth hotter, it would cause extreme weather on both ends of the spectrum. Oh, and he became friends with Art Bell. Okay, so I posted this in the Discord. Let's watch these, and then we'll have to do Abductions Part 2, because I have a ton of videos. Because there's a lot of different guys. Bud Hopkins, another UFO guy. Dr. David Jacobs is another guy. Dr. John Mack. But I wanted to check this one out. Speaking of famous movie guys. Maybe that's what we'll do from now on. Our show, the show will start to combine the topics. It'll be alien abductions / movies. Okay, here's an Whitley Strieber
survey. Nearly half of all Americans think the United
Grodin.
States government is hiding information about UFOs. So do my next two guests. From Boston is John Mack, a Harvard Medical School psychiatrist. He's studied over 100 people who claim to have been abducted and is convinced they are telling the truth. Also joining me is perhaps the most well-known alien abductee, Whitley Strieber. He says aliens have been abducting him for years, and it's still going on today. He's written a number of popular books on UFOs. His recent one is The Secret School. Dr. Mack, what's the price of believing in this, personally and professionally?
Well, we're raised to believe that the human being is the preeminent intelligent creature in the cosmos. It's a point of view which is prevalent in Western society, but is not shared around the Earth. So if you have the idea that there are beings coming from somewhere else into our world, then that's automatically a source of a lot of resistance.
He's got big ears.
And it has given you a problem personally as well as at Harvard, is that right?
Well, a problem,
problems,
yes,
or what
but,
word would you use?
It's a fight worth fighting, and I just document what I see as a clinician.
So stupid. He parked his saucer on the Harvard Square. Okay, that's the Boston. It's when a Boston guy sees an alien. He parked the saucer on the Harvard Square. It's a movie. This is Charles Grodin. This is a real guy. I guess we're getting our movies and real stuff mixed up together. But this is a Charles Grodin, I guess, had a news show or something.
People tell me about experiences that they have questioned about themselves and that they speak about appropriately. They have nothing to gain, and this is coming to me from all over this country and now in other countries around the world. Then I try to say, is this dream? Is it mental illness? What is it? And it operates absolutely like people who are reporting something that really happened to them. Now, the fact that they're saying happened to them isn't possible in our view of the world is not my responsibility.
Right. Whitley, when was the last time that you feel you were abducted?
Well, I had only one real abduction. That was in '85. I've had a lot of contact experiences since then. The last one that I would say was really face-to-face was in last October. And I had a cabin in upstate New York near Kingston for years, and it used to happen a lot there. We've moved to Texas, to a city, to San Antonio, and now it's very rare.
Did you move for any reason? Were you trying to avoid this, or
no? My wife was.
We're not going to slander Charles Grodin and
I was born in San Antonio. We
wanted slander Charles Grodin on the stream.
Very brief, and it had
just going to have a movie debate now.
I was trying to create
Chevy Chase is pretty funny though.
A videotape about how to meditate in a way that will facilitate the contact experience, and they showed up for about 2 minutes.
And Charles Grodin was in
and I was able
Clifford.
to experiment on in the relationship. I don't want to get into it in a lot of detail.
Speaking of more movies,
but it's become a kind of ordinary part of my life. It's not something that, I mean, I don't know what they are. I have to tell you that.
You say they showed up in a physical form?
Yeah.
And physically in the room with you?
In the living room.
Just materialized?
No, no. They came in and they were there for a few minutes. I knew they were coming. There are signs that happened beforehand.
M. Night Shyamalan made that. Signs.
Agitated, and when I'm around them, there's a big histamine reaction.
Aliens.
I get very allergic.
They hate
I'm allergic
water.
to them. I think physically.
So if your eyes start watering right now, you were not going to say that I...
Yeah, I am. I've suspected you for a long time.
Dr. Mack, do you experience or deal at all with out-of-body experiences? I know it's not about abduction or aliens or anything like that, but do other aspects of what people might call paranormal, does that come to your attention?
Yes, the so-called alien abduction phenomenon really is a whole range of experiences from what Whitley is saying is quite rare, which is to be actually physically taken outside of your home or car into some kind of enclosure and then subjected to a variety of procedures. For some people, that's not rare. But then there are many other phenomena, like you mentioned, out-of-body experiences where the body stays behind, or just the sense of a presence, or seeing the beings in the living room, or having some sort of relationship with them, or transfer of feeling or thought from them to us. There is a great number of experiences which are related to this phenomenon, but the so-called abductions is only the most dramatic element.
In the out-of-body, when they did these experiments at Duke University, a fellow named, I think his name was Blue Harari, who would travel a half a mile down campus while his body remained under observation, and then come back and report what he saw. Are you familiar with those experiments?
Experiments like that, yes.
Yes. So what do you think of that?
That's pretty
I think the most interesting thing...
That's pretty interesting. Let's check in on the Charles Grodin show. Just don't even care about aliens anymore. Charles Grodin's talk show is canceled, 1998. He uttered his last deadpan diatribe on CNBC, which has canceled his talk show. They got fed up. This is cool. He got fed up with Grodin's nightly denunciation of the capitalist system for grinding down, in Grodin's words, the homeless, the aged, the people unjustly confined in prison. Whoa! Charles Grodin is cool. Whoa, that's crazy. His 11 p.m. ratings weren't keeping up. So he talked about how capitalism was bad, and he talked about aliens. So I think Charles Grodin is cool. They weren't keeping up the ratings in the late 90s. They're going to replace Grodin with a second run of the 8 p.m. Hardball. No. It's on the business on CNBC. Its most popular talk show is the Geraldo Rivera. A great guy, that guy, Geraldo. Oh man. Grodin praised CNBC for allowing an ordinary citizen to go on television every night and say whatever I wanted, without ever once in 624 shows censoring me. This would be a first on television. And okay, well, he is a celebrity, so he's not quite an ordinary citizen. I'll just give any old Joe Schmo a TV show. I'm getting ready for Leno. Charles Grodin, welcome to the... whatever, welcome to the... something, the resistance, I guess. I think he's still alive. Anyway, this is not about Charles Grodin, damn it. This is about aliens. Let's check out one more video. One more. This is what the people are chanting. This is a cool video. It's Art Bell. They're talking about climate change. And we got this guy. We hate this guy. He was in Beethoven.
Storms across Europe 2 weeks ago, and now the government says the 1990s were the hottest decade in a
This is about climate change now.
It's enough to make us all wonder what's going
got
on.
Whitley Strieber.
A new book, The Coming Global Superstorm by radio talk show host Art Bell, and Whitley Strieber makes a dire prediction that global warming will eventually get so bad the result will be a catastrophic storm that could destroy civilization.
Now this is interesting.
Art Bell, Whitley Strieber, good morning.
Good morning.
Fact or fiction? Is this nonfiction or is this fiction?
I would call it documented reality. There's a little bit of fiction there, but it's very well documented. Very well documented.
We're a little confused about it right now because it started out as speculative fiction based on fact, but in the past few weeks, we don't know anymore. Maybe it's turning into fact before
It sounds like
our
you're
eyes.
rounding the corners there right now, but do you believe the conclusions you draw in this book? That would make it fiction or nonfiction.
The basic conclusion is that sudden climate change is the real issue.
It's occurred before. It's going to happen again. They found the woolly mammoths with
And
the
these guys
green
are
stuff undigested.
These guys are weird, crazy conspiracy guys. What are they talking about? Climate change? That's crazy weird. Who would have
in the
thought?
Arctic.
In their mouths, yeah.
In their mouths. It came from somewhere. It was growing. They ate it.
He's on
They
coast to
froze
coast.
instantly.
All right, but before we don our chicken suits and
There
yell
he
the
was.
sky
He's
is falling, let's
rest in
talk about
peace.
specifically the storms you talk about in this book and,
And
this
this
coming
guy-
global superstorm. Describe it for me.
Now,
What's
this
going to
guy,
happen?
Matt Lauer,
Okay.
we all know what happened to him.
We talk about a couple of things. First, as the North
This
Atlantic
isn't about
current
aliens
drops
anymore.
south,
This is kind of a cool
there
video.
will be an upheaval in the weather. Will it develop into one single huge storm? We don't know.
But worst case scenario, in your opinion, it could.
Is if there's enough energy collected in the atmosphere from global warming when that happens, yes.
Worst case scenario is the right way to put it.
Well, let's talk about the worst case scenario. According to the book, it's a storm that could last 6 weeks and make a nuclear war seem tame. Your words. This storm would cover a quarter of the globe with ice. It would result in unprecedented death tolls and mass destruction. Here's one that'll get people's attention here in the U.S. The U.S. could lose 3/5 of its population.
There would be a mass migration to the south.
Right.
There would have to be. You'd see precursor events like just occurred in France and Germany.
The aliens are
300
changing the
million
weather.
trees just came down in France in this last storm. 140-mile-an-hour straight winds in Germany.
Let's get something straight. Not a meteorologist. Not a meteorologist.
No,
Not a climatologist.
But informed amateurs who have worked
But not
hard.
a climatologist.
No.
Nor you.
Absolutely not.
All right.
Matt Lauer, you suck. Yeah, they're just, and we see who's on the right side of history here. This is just an interesting video, not anything to do with aliens. But Whitley Strieber, he claims to have been abducted by aliens, and he made this movie about alien abductions with Christopher Walken. And Matt Lauer, he looks like an idiot and a jerk because of all the stuff he did, and he's haranguing these guys about climate change, talking about how stupid it is. Well, we see who's right here. Anyway.
Human.
And this is Whitley Strieber's movie. It was, anyway, we're going to end the show, but I wanted to watch Aliens. Christopher Walken again. Hey, I got a fever.
You people, you sit there, you're in for one big surprise.
Anyway, that's... yeah, all the people are going to go to the south, where it's hotter. Anyway, aliens and stuff are weird. And some people claim to have been abducted. And there's apparently a movie with Christopher Walken about being abducted by aliens. Anyway, and we're going to end the show. Thanks for watching the show. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks to all the people who did all the subs and dubs and stuff. And we're going to get to the credits scene. So we'll see all those names pop up. But thanks for watching, everybody else as well, following. The only prescription is that alien medication. That's right. We're going to do that. I'm all mixed up here. I'm trying to end the show. Okay. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. It's been a lot of fun talking about aliens and movies. We talked a lot about movies. Christopher Walken. Whitley Strieber. And we'll be back not next week, but the week after next. Whoa! Wow! I'm glad everyone's able to catch the stream. Thanks for the gourd snake. Frog stack. Gourd snake. Thanks for watching the show. We'll see you next time. And you can check out the Patreon. And we'll see you next time on
The Cool Stream.
Bye-bye. Wow.
Thank you for watching The Cool Stream with Beowulf.
We're gonna raid someone after this, also. But bye bye.
The cool stream.
Beowulf.
Thanks, Beowulf. Have a good one.
Hey, I'm watching the Ghoul stream here.
Ooh, it's so good.
Oh, yeah!
What's up, everyone? The cool stream.
Oh, Zaza. Ooh, it's so good.
Oh, yeah!
This better back off. I'm getting pissed.
What is up, everyone?
Look at that. Wow. Look at that.
You people, you sit there, you're in for one big surprise.